Alright boys and girls, I hope you're all having a lovely day. So today guys, we're going to be talking about the London gaming market, quite possibly my favourite time of the year. I know a lot of game collectors like to go to several of these game markets, like, I don't know, Retro Ghetto for example. He seems to go to one of these every single week, and to be honest with you, I don't really blame him, you know, because they're very exciting and they've always got some really cool games. But me personally, I only ever go to London, and I do it once a year with my older brother, and I always have a really good time. And this year was no different. I got some absolute bangers, some games that I've wanted in my collection for literally years, so I was really excited about it all. So yeah, before I dive into my pickups from the London gaming market, I did get some footage with my GoPro, so I figured I'd go through that with you guys and just sort of show you around the event and, you know, show you some games and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, my camera did run out of battery about 2/3 of the way through, which is really annoying because there was some good stuff that I wasn't able to film, but I was able to capture a lot of the event and a lot of the stalls there. So yeah, we'll go through that, I'll show you some of that stuff, and then we'll go through the pickups. Alright then guys, so we are here at the London gaming market. I always freaking love this, man. The excitement just gets to me. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the fact that I don't know how good the footage is for this video. I filmed this on a GoPro, and you know, normally that works pretty well if I'm in like a CX or something like that, but I'm not too sure how well this one came out just because of how busy it is. So a lot of the footage is going to be people's arms, people's backs, because it just got so crammed and there was just so many people about. It was hard to really get a look in myself, let alone get good camera footage, you know? So I do apologise if the footage is a bit but yeah, I did try my best. Yeah, speaking of how busy the London gaming market was, it was like ridiculously busy this year. It's always busy, don't get me wrong, it's never not busy, but it was worse this year than any other. Normally the first hour or so is okay because you have to pay to get the early entrance, and of course I always pay for that, so usually the first hour is not too bad. But I swear after about 10 minutes there was literally like thousands of people in here. Like, it was honestly insane. But did that stop me from buying some decent games? Absolutely not, guys. I bought some bangers. And yeah, this first stall had some pretty cool stuff, mostly common things. I didn't see anything too crazy other than what was like behind the games, you know, the stuff that was on display. There was a fair bit of PS1 there I could see, and you know, some other cool gems. But yeah, I think I only bought one thing from the first stall, and it was a pretty common game, but it is a game I wanted. After that though, guys, I headed over to this absolute sea of PS1 and PS2 games. There was absolutely tons of it, and it was all kind of wrapped up, so I kind of assumed it was all in pretty good condition. However, I found out the hard way that just because it's in this nice plasticky thing doesn't mean that it's in good condition, because I got some games home that were in these little packets, and yeah, they weren't great. Me personally, I would only sell games in these plasticky covers if they're in really nice condition, because I feel like it's a little bit misleading. It almost makes it feel like it's a brand new game, even though you know it isn't. But yeah, you will open it up and there'll be games that are missing manuals or just are in really bad nick. Most sellers will let you open them up and have a look, but yeah, I was kind of misled with a couple of them. There was a few that I thought looked in good nick, and then I got them home and realized they weren't. Also, side note guys, I figured I'd take this time to sort of let you know kind of what I'm looking out for. There was 3 games in particular that I wanted to buy today. Those 3 games were Maximo Army of Zin, because I absolutely loved the original when I played it in October. It was incredible, so I really wanted to find the sequel. And the second game I wanted to find was Final Fantasy 9, because I'm collecting Final Fantasy games at the minute. And the final game I wanted to find was Final Fantasy 10 for the same reason that I wanted Final Fantasy 9. I just kind of want to get all the Final Fantasies. So the majority of what you'll see today is going to be PS1 and PS2, because that's where I wanted to look, because those were the games I wanted. So if you guys were hoping to see a ton of, I don't know, NES stuff in this video, or a ton of, I don't know, freaking GameCube or whatever, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed, because I just really wasn't looking in those areas. And there might be the odd thing that I managed to capture, but yeah, generally speaking, I think the majority of what I was looking at was PS1 and PS2. Speaking of PlayStation 1, this guy had some ridiculous stuff, alright? There's some insane PlayStation 1 games here. Like, if I just pause the footage for a second here, this guy's got Mega Man Legends, Chaos Break, which is a game I really want, but it was really expensive. I think he wanted $170 for that, which is a bit out of my price range. Like, I probably could have bought it, but I wouldn't have been able to buy much else today, and obviously I had a lot of things on my list. This guy had 2 copies of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. He had Vandal Hearts, he had Ghost in the Shell. And these are some of the rarest PS1 games, and they're all just sat there. Like, honestly, it was crazy to see. And I think that was the best thing about the gaming market today, was just how much ridiculously rare stuff I saw. Annoyingly, my camera runs out of battery sort of like 2/3 of the way through the gaming market, but right at the end, honestly, like, some of the things I was seeing was insane. Like, this guy had genuinely some of the rarest games I've ever witnessed. At one point, I'm pretty sure I saw Cindy's Fashion World, which I've never seen before. I think it was like £2,000 or something. something. I hope that's in the footage, because just seeing a game like that is nuts. Anyway, guys, next up, as you can see, there's a little bit of DS stuff here, but unfortunately, it's a lot of shovelware. There are quite a few DS games I would like to add to my collection, but, you know, they're not here. I'd love to get the Tomb Raider games on DS, because I'm a big Tomb Raider fan, but I didn't see those today. There's also Thor on the DS. I've been looking for that for ages. It's ridiculously cheap, but it's just for some reason quite rare. I always see it on 3DS, but I never see the DS one, and it's made by WayForward. It looks like an awesome game, but I never see it. Alright guys, next up I see a stall with a really unique, I want to call it game, but it's not really a game. It was certainly tempted, but it was pretty expensive, and that is Silent Hill The Experience. I didn't really get it in shot very well, but yeah, I've never seen that before in person. I knew of its existence, but never seen it. And he also had a lot of PS2 in here, and I was having a good look because I was hoping to see that Maximo game. I didn't see it though. I'll probably see it now on the footage, like looking back at it, and I'll be really pissed off if that happens. And also next to that, you got the PS1 stuff, and again, I'm looking for Final Fantasy 9. I know it comes in that jewel case, which, so it's, you know, it's kind of easier to spot that, whereas Maximo, you know, you could quite easily miss it with how boring the spines are with PS2 games. After that, I move on to another stall, and it was mostly common stuff in there, so I didn't grab anything from that. But yeah, I did also see that like cut out of Tomb Raider, which I don't think was for sale. I would have bought that though. If that was for sale, I would have paid the money, because I would love to have that. Oh, this stall was pretty damn awesome, guys. I'm pretty sure I showed it to you last year, but yeah, this is like Japanese strategy guides. I would love to have one of these, but they're just asking a bit too much money. He had the Zone of the Enders one there, which I would have loved to have that, because I love Zone of the Enders, one of my favorite games, but it's 30 quid and I can't read it because I don't speak bloody Japanese. I'd love it for the artwork and just to have it in the collection, but to pay 30 quid for that, I don't know, man, it would hurt the wallet a little bit too much. Moving onwards, guys, I see some DS and some Wii stuff. Nothing too crazy. It was pretty common stuff, nothing I was after, unless I see it in the footage. Again, I'll kick myself if I see a Tomb Raider on DS or something like that, but I don't think he had anything. A fair amount of 3DS as well, but once again, it was pretty common, so I think I'm done with 3DS, I'll be honest, guys. Like, there's no 3DS games I really want. I did see this, though, guys. He had a copy of Elite Beat Agents. That is a game I do want to get, and I can't remember why I didn't buy it now. I think it might have been incomplete or something, and maybe he's just asking a bit too much. You guys know me, I'm not that bothered about getting incomplete games, but I want to get a good price for it, you know? I want to pay cheap prices for something that's incomplete. I don't want to pay full price for it if it hasn't got the manual. Also, that game I just picked up there, that's a game from my childhood I used to have. I remember buying that from HMV. I regret not buying that. That was only like 10 quid. Why didn't I pick it up? On the same stall, there was some PS1 and PS2, and again, I'm looking for Final Fantasy 9, I'm looking for Final Fantasy 10, I'm looking for Maximo. I couldn't find either of them though, so I swiftly move on to some more PlayStation games, and again, I was disappointed. It's kind of annoying with the footage that I've got, because again, I told you my camera runs out of battery sort of partway through, and a lot of the good stuff I found was actually towards the end of the gaming market. However, one thing I did see, guys, was strategy guides, and they had some Final Fantasy ones, and I bought one. I was spoiled that I did buy. I also just noticed he had Tomb Raider ones. I should have got one of those. I should have got the Tomb Raider 2 one, because that game's meant to be hard. But yeah, it was cool to see some Final Fantasy strategy guides. I'm definitely collecting these. They're freaking awesome. And this guy had a wicked stall. Look at all this boxed Game Boy Advance games. Now, I'm not in the market for it because, you know, I collect unboxed Game Boy, and to be honest with you, I haven't really bought a Game Boy Advance game in a while because I've just got too many to play. You know, my backlog is brimming. But just seeing all of these games, wow, like that is some freaking collection, and there's some bangers here. Next up, guys, I find a stall with not a ton on there, but there was definitely some unique items. That Castlevania DS game looks pretty cool. I've not got that one. There's also a couple of PS2 games there that I've never heard of, so that was pretty cool to see. He had some N64 as well. I don't collect N64, so it's not really my thing, but yeah, again, just cool to see some unique stuff. I'm pretty sure I bought one game off this guy. I think he had a PS2 game I wanted. I can't remember now exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's from this dude. And the stall next to him had some really cool artwork I liked. There was these like metal landscape posters. He had one of Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I was tempted by. If it was Silent Hill 2 Original, I would have bought it, like, in a second, you know, in a heartbeat, I would have bought it. But yeah, I like the remake, but, like, I really do, but I don't know, it'd have to be the original for me. Speaking of Silent Hill, though, he did have some, like, cheaper artwork. It was just, like, prints, and I saw Silent Hill, so I gravitated. I think he wanted, like, £1 each for these, so yeah, I was there. A little bit after that, I come across another stall, and there was some pretty cool games. I noticed this Bloodstone on the DS. I didn't know that was a thing. I put it back, though, because it was quite expensive. I was quite surprised by the price, but yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. But maybe if I see that in CEX, I'll get it. I forgot to mention as well that I'd kind of ditched my brother at this point. Like, normally me and my brother, we stick together, but I'd kind of ditched him him a little bit. He was taking a while on one of the stalls, and I kind of just wandered off on my own, but I found him again. And when I found him, I saw that he was buying an N64 game, and literally, like, next to the N64 game he was buying, there was a game that I had no idea existed, but I was this close to buying because it spoke to me. I don't know if you saw it in the footage, but it was Serious Sam Advance. Now, I love the Serious Sam games. I used to play the shit out of those when I was a kid. I had no idea that they were on the Game Boy Advance, and this guy had a boxed copy of it for 30 quid, and I nearly bought it, but in the end I thought, I don't collect boxed Game Boy. Do I start now? I decided it was a good idea not to, but you know, maybe I should have got that, because that would have been such a cool piece to the collection. But I will definitely buy that unboxed if I see it. Alright boys, next up I see a ton of figures, a lot of Japanese stuff, a lot of Kirby, and yeah, I love me some Kirby, so of course I had a good look. I'm pretty sure this is a guy that last year I bought a Persona figure from, and I may have done it again. He had more Persona figures, so I may have bought another one. This stall was incredibly busy, so it was hard to really get a good look in, but yeah, there was some crazy shit here. And there was a copy of Kuon I noticed, which, you know, isn't exactly common, so that was kind of cool to see. Unfortunately, I couldn't really see much of that stall, so I went to a different stall that was a little less busy, and I saw some unboxed Game Boy Advance games, and not gonna lie, I was just looking for that Serious Sam Advance. I was hoping it was here, but it wasn't. That might be one I have to order, because I very much doubt I'm gonna see that in the wild. But yeah, there was some other cool Game Boy Advance games, but they wanted quite a lot for them. So yeah, at this point in the convention, guys, it was getting pretty damn busy. Most stalls just had floods of people, so it was really hard to look. So I was kind of just looking for something interesting where it wasn't so busy, and I noticed this like 3D printed stall, and yeah, there was some really nice like logos here, and they were pretty reasonably priced. I see a lot of these 3D printed things, and the quality can be a bit and also the pricing can be pretty terrible. But at this stall, it was 5 for 20 quid, which I think was pretty good, because again, the quality of these was pretty decent, and I could have quite easily bought a few of these, because there were some banging ones, and I think I ended up going for about 5, but yeah, I could have easily bought more. Alright boys, you're probably getting bored of hearing this, but I was looking at more PS2 games, just looking for that Maximo. Still couldn't find it. I'll just spoil it now. I didn't find it the whole day. I was really gutted, honestly. It was the one game I really wanted. Don't get me wrong though, I found some really cool stuff, but that was the one, you know, like that's the game I super wanted. And last but not least, fellas, this was the final stall I saw before my camera ran out of battery, and this was around about the time where I started seeing really good stuff. This stall had a few games I really wanted. Yeah, up until this point, I haven't really seen a lot that I wanted, but then finally I started seeing everything towards the back. Yeah, this stall definitely had some bangers. I bought quite a few from these guys, but that's everything from the London gaming market, guys. Like I said, my camera annoyingly ran out of battery, and there was some bangers, especially at the back there. I wish I'd gotten footage for it. And this one guy had some insanely rare stuff, and I wish I caught footage. I should have got my phone out or something. Anyway, boys, let's get back to my house and let's show you all the pickups. Alright then, guys, so you've all seen the London gaming market, and yeah, they had a lot of good stuff. I know there's a lot of issues with these gaming markets, you know, they're not perfect. I know the pricing can be off-putting for a lot of people, but I always have a really good time, especially the fact that I get to go with my older brother as well, because obviously he's super into game collecting, so yeah, it's always nice to do that with him, and I always enjoy it. So without further ado then, boys, let's dive into our pickups, and I think the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to show you all the sort of trinkets I bought, you know, the little just bits and bobs, the merchandise. I'm going to show you all that first, and then I'll dive into the games. So first of all, I want to start off with some posters that I bought. There's this guy that was selling posters for literally £1. I'm pretty sure I bought some posters off this dude last year, and he had some Silent Hill ones that I knew that I needed because, of course, I'm a big Silent Hill fan. So the first one we have got is going to be Silent Hill 2. I believe this is the American cover. Now, I'll be honest, at first, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I wasn't like, I didn't hate it or anything, but it's not my favorite piece of Silent Hill artwork. But I knew that I would regret it if I didn't buy it because it's Silent Hill and it was literally £1, so you really can't go wrong. So I figured I'd grab it, and I'm really glad that I did because the more I look at it, the more it grows on me. And yeah, for £1, you really can't go wrong. Next up, boys, we have got the Silent Hill 1 poster, which I absolutely adore. This is the PAL cover, and yeah, it's really awesome. I absolutely love the way that one looks. And last but not least, we have got the Silent Hill 3 poster. So yeah, a bit of a reoccurring theme with the Silent Hill, but what can I say? I'm a big fan. Out of all of them, I think this one is my favorite. I've always loved the Silent Hill 3 cover. I think it's just really cool. It's just got a real sort of dark vibe to it. It's simple, but really effective, so I really love that cover. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try and get all 3 of these posters in my room somewhere. If I don't have the space for it, I think the Silent Hill 2 one is going to miss out, despite the fact that Silent Hill 2 is my favorite Silent Hill and quite possibly my favorite game of all time. But unfortunately, when it comes to these posters, I like these two a lot more, especially the Silent Hill 3 one. If I had to choose, it would be that one. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get all 3 of them somewhere. We'll just have to, I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. Next up, guys, guys, we've got ourselves a cheeky figure. This is a Yukiko figure from Persona 4. It did come boxed, but I threw it away because I didn't have space in my luggage bag. I didn't really want to throw the box away, but I can't display the box in here anyway because there's no space. So yeah, I just threw it away. And I know some of you guys are probably looking at me like, Majel, why'd you buy that, you little pervert? Like, why did you want that? Well, here's the thing, guys. I absolutely love Persona, and I didn't see any other Persona figures. I was kind of hoping to get a Persona 5 figure, but this was the only figure that I saw from Persona. And last year, I bought myself this Chie figure, which is also from Persona 4, and I just thought, you know what? They would look good together, so I just figured I'd get it. So yeah, Yukiko is certainly not my favorite Persona character, but I don't know, I didn't really see any others, so I just thought, yeah, let's get it. Lads, I'm gonna have to take this hoodie off. It's hot as hell in here. I'm super stuffy. I can't believe how hot it is considering what time of year. Like, it's November. I should be freezing, but I am burning. All right, guys, next up, I've got some like 3D printed signs. I definitely wanted to come home with some of these today because I've got the perfect spot for them. And I saw somebody selling them for, I think it was 5 for £20, and they're really good. Like, they look super good. So yeah, I picked up 5 of these, and honestly, I could have picked up more. Like, they literally had so many that I would have had. But yeah, I picked up 5, and I'm really happy with the ones I got. So first of all, we have got ourselves a Capcom one. Of course, you know, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, as well as other things like Dino Crisis and Onimusha and, you know, Devil May Cry, other various Capcom franchises. Speaking of Resident Evil, we got a Resident Evil one, because again, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, and I really love that logo. They did have a Silent Hill one, and it didn't look very good. I wasn't really... the thing is with Silent Hill is the logo changes almost every game, and the one that they'd printed just wasn't like my favorite sort of version of the Silent Hill logo. My favorite is probably the original Silent Hill. I like the way that one looks. I can't remember what one they had 3D printed, but it wasn't the original logo, so I would have had the Silent Hill one as well. Next up, we have got a game franchise that I've only just recently gotten into, but I love that sign, and that is the Final Fantasy one, and I believe this is specifically Final Fantasy 7 because I've recognized that from the front cover of FF7. Next up, we have got probably my favorite one, and that is the Crash Bandicoot one. I love Crash Bandicoot. You know, it's one of my favorite games of all time, at least the original trilogy, and yeah, that one looks really nice. I really like that. And last but certainly not least, we have got the Metal Gear Solid one. That one looks super good as well, and I'm chuffed with all 5 of these. I think they all look super good. So really quickly, guys, I'll just show you what I'm going to do with them. I'm gonna, oh, the focus is a bit dodgy, but yeah, I'm gonna stick them here, and they're all gonna like run across there, and I think that's gonna look nice. All right, guys, the final thing that I bought from the London gaming market that wasn't specifically a game was a strategy guide, and as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to come home with it, and that is going to be the Final Fantasy X strategy guide. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this on Final Fantasy X. Obviously, I'm pretty new to RPGs, so you know, they can be super confusing to me, but yeah, getting these strategy guides just makes it a ton easier. It makes the navigation easier. It makes, you know, strategy easier. It just sort of gives you a little idea of what you're supposed to do in a lot of these battles. I know that you can probably find this information out on the internet, but I don't know, it's just nice to read it in a strategy guide. It feels more authentic. I just enjoy it that way. Plus, you get some really cool artwork, so I absolutely adore these. This was only £10, which is an absolute bargain. There was no way I wasn't going to come home with this for just a tenner. Yeah, there's just a ton of cool stuff in here, man. I mean, look at the artwork. It's like, it's worth it alone just for that. All right, and boys, the rest of my pickups are all video game pickups, and yeah, it sort of varies in price. Like, there's some cheap stuff in here, there's some expensive stuff. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. But yeah, we'll start off with the cheap stuff and kind of work our way upwards. And we'll start off with this one. This is actually my very first pickup of the gaming market, and that is going to be Free Metal X for the PS2. So yeah, this is a game that I've wanted for quite a while now. I saw it in stock in my local CEX, and I looked up gameplay, and I thought, oh, that looks really fun. It looked like a sort of Tony Hawk's clone, but with dirt bikes, and I thought, that's really awesome. So I went in to go buy it, and someone had bought it before I could. And ever since then, I've been on the lookout for it, you know, hoping it would pop back up in my local CEX, but it never has. It's a pretty cheap game. It's like £3 or something at CEX. I paid a £5 for it, so, you know, I suppose I overpaid a little bit, but it wasn't expensive. Yeah, I had a very quick go on this, literally today, because I noticed that the disc had a lot of scratches on it. Probably won't show up very well on camera, but it's quite badly scratched, and I wanted to make sure that it worked. And whilst I was at it, you know, I just had a little go on it, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit disappointed with what I've played of it so far. I've only played the tutorial, and the game plays really nicely. Like, it's super smooth to play, but it controls terribly. And the game has got a trick system similar to Tony Hawk, but my god, it's bad. Like, it just doesn't work. So I hope the game doesn't over rely on the trick system like Tony Hawk does, because the game's controls are nowhere near as good as Tony Hawk. But you know what, boys, I picked it up for cheap. It was only a £5, so I can't really complain. So I'm happy to get that nonetheless. Alright then fellas, the next one is going to be a PlayStation 1 game that I have never heard of, and for those that used to watch my FIFA videos, you're going to like this one, I promise. And that game is going to be Baldies. So yeah, I've never heard of this. I don't think anybody has probably ever heard of this, and I saw it and it was making me crack up. Like, I just was laughing at the artwork. I thought it was freaking hilarious, so I knew that I wanted it, but unfortunately this was right at the end of the gaming market and I'd basically run out of money. I think I had maybe £6 on me, that's all I had, and the lady that I was buying it from didn't have a price on it, but she was looking it up on eBay and it was £16 on eBay apparently, so she was kind of looking for around about that sort of price for it. But I said to her, you know, I'm down to pennies unfortunately, so I was ready to leave it behind. I thought it was funny, but you know, I wasn't like desperate to come home with it. I just thought it was funny. But the lady really wanted to sell me this game. I don't know if she just wanted to get rid of it or not, or maybe she just, you know, wanted me to have it, but she basically said whatever you've got, you know, she'll give it to me for what I had. My older brother lent me a few pounds, so I think it ended up costing me like, I don't know, £8 or something, which is a pretty good deal for a game. I mean, look at it, you know, like £8 for that, that's worth it. All right, boys, this next one is one that I really wanted to buy. Like, I was like, this was probably in my top 3 games I wanted to come home with, but unfortunately I kind of messed up a little bit, because I certainly could have bought a better copy than the one that I bought, and that game is going to be Final Fantasy X. So yeah, this is a game that I really wanted. This was easily in my top 3 games that I wanted to pick up, and obviously I bought the strategy guide as well the same day, but unfortunately guys, the version I bought is in really poor condition, and I don't really know how I missed it. I don't know if you guys saw on camera, but yeah, the version I bought is actually got freaking mold on it. If you can see that, if it's for focus, there's a bit of mold there, which is obviously not good. I mean, it's a beautiful cover, like the actual artwork of Final Fantasy X, and it's been completely ruined with some mold on it. But what's even worse is the inside. It's got tons of mold on it. I've cleaned it, so it is clean, but it's not nice, all right? Seeing that, you know, coming home and seeing that it had mold on it, I was like, what the fuck? And it was all wet as well. I was really disappointed. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to buy another copy of Final Fantasy X, because, I mean, I know I'm going to love this game. I've got a good feeling about it. I love Final Fantasy VII, so I've got no reason to believe that Final Fantasy X isn't going to be incredible. The worst part about it is I saw multiple copies of this. Like, I saw it about 500 times at the gaming market, so the fact that I bought the one with mold on it is, I mean, it's tragic from me. It is pretty bad. The rest of it's in really nice condition. Like, the manual is there, and that's in really nice condition. We've also got the bonus disc. So, yeah, I'm happy with all of that. It's just the artwork having mold on it. It's a little bit annoying. All right, now, fellas, moving on to a PSP game. This was the only PSP game that I bought over the weekend. I've got most of the PSP games I want at this point, but this is definitely one that I wanted to grab, and that is Dynasty Warriors. So, yeah, I very recently got into the Dynasty Warriors games. I played, which one was it now? It was an Extreme Legends one on PS3. I think it was Dynasty Warriors 7, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And ever since then, I've been slowly collecting different Dynasty Warriors games. I don't know if I'm going for a full set of Dynasty Warriors, but I don't know, I might do. I'm certainly tempted. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get this on the PSP because I feel like this is the perfect game to play portably. I do already own the PS Vita one, so I'm definitely going to play that one soon. But yeah, I really want to play this on the PSP. You know, if I go on holiday or something, I feel like it's the perfect game to just put on and have a quick blast. Yeah, I really enjoy these games. They're somewhat mindless, you know, they're not like super deep with the stories and stuff, but they are bloody fun. So the next one I want to jump into is going to be a PS Vita game, and that is going to be Child of Light. So yeah, this has been a game that's been on my radar for quite some time now. I don't know too much about it in terms of gameplay, but it's a game that I've known about on the Vita for a while, and it's not like mega expensive. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the PS Vita. It might be my favorite console to collect for. I just absolutely adore it, but unfortunately one of the downsides to collecting for it is just the pricing. The games can be stupid money. You can get the very same games on the Nintendo Switch for a fraction of the price a lot of times, but I just love the Vita. I just really want to build like an awesome collection for it, and I've obviously got quite a few games at this point already. But yeah, I saw this for just £20, and I thought that was a pretty good deal for this game. I don't know how much it goes for at CEX, but I think it's around that sort of price. I don't know too much about it. I think it's some sort of RPG, or at least some sort of turn-based game. It looks pretty cool on the back. The artwork is you know, makes it look nice. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get around to playing that, but it's certainly a nice one to add to the PS Vita collection, so I'm very glad I picked that up. Alright boys, moving on to a PS2 PS2 game. This is a sequel to a game that I played very recently, and I enjoyed it very much, so I was on the lookout for this, and that is going to be The Suffering: Ties That Bind. So yeah, I very recently played the first Suffering game. I played it in October for Halloween, and it was a pretty cool game. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I did very much enjoy it. I knew that there was a sequel to this game, and I'm surprised at the price of the sequel, because the first game has been going up in price like crazy. I remember when that game was like £3 or £4, and now it's like 18 quid at CEX, but for whatever reason, the second game just hasn't gone up in price, even though it's like a lot rarer. I never see this game like ever. I picked this up for 20 quid in like mint condition. Like, it literally looks brand new. I couldn't believe the condition of it. I'm just surprised at that price. I feel like this should be a £40–50 game, given the fact that this first one, you know, keeps going up in price. I'm surprised the second one hasn't gone up as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments, have you played this one? Is it as good as the original? I'm very much looking forward to that. Alright boys, next up we have got ourselves another PlayStation game, and I think this is the game that I'm most excited to play. I think I'm going to play this one pretty much straight away. I paid 30 quid for it, and it's a game that I don't really see often, so yeah, I definitely wanted to get it the second that I saw it, and that is going to be Evil Zone. So yeah, when it comes to that artwork, guys, I mean, that is a bit of me, that is. I mean, that literally looks like the most 90s anime cover of all time. Like, that is just the most cool thing ever. When it comes to my PS1, one area that I definitely want to bulk out a bit more is the fighting games, because I just feel like they give off a real 90s feel, you know? Like, there's something about the PlayStation and fighting games in particular that make me feel like we're in the 90s again. I remember last year when I played Guilty Gear on my CRTV, and I just literally felt like I'd gone back 20–30 years. It was so much fun, and there's such a great library of fighting games on the PlayStation 1. Like, you've got Rival Schools, that's a really cool one, a little bit expensive, but I do want to get it. And yeah, Evil Zone was definitely one that I wanted to get because the artwork is so cool, and it just looks fun, and I think 30 quid is a pretty good price for that. I think it's about that at CEX, so yeah, it was labelled at 32, but I did haggle. I said, would you take 30 for it? And yeah, most people were willing to do deals. I'm pretty sure I knocked a few quid off of pretty much everything that I bought at the gaming market. Condition-wise, it's super nice. It's got the manual, so yeah, I was very happy to get that, and I'm probably going to play this one super soon. I'll probably play it in the next week or two. Alright boys, moving back over to the PlayStation 2, we have got a sequel to a game that I absolutely adored, and I've been looking for this for ages, and it just seems to be like really rare. I just never see it, and I saw it over the weekend, and I had to get it, and that is going to be Way of the Samurai 2. So yeah, a little while back I played the original one. I did a video on different samurai games over on my second channel. I say that over on this channel it was around about the same time that Shogun came out, and I wanted to play different you know, samurai games, and I played the first one sort of blindly, and I loved it. I thought it was so cool. And ever since playing the first one, I've been on the lookout for the second one. I've seen Way of the Samurai 3 quite a few times. I feel like that's not quite as rare, but I wanted to get the second one first. And yeah, I saw it over the weekend, and like I said, I was jumping for joy. I was trying to hide my excitement because I've been looking for it for a while now. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to playing Way of the Samurai 2. I hope it's as good as the original, because I thought that game was super underrated. Alright fellas, we've got 4 pickups remaining, and all 4 of these games are just straight up bangers, and this one in particular is one that I've wanted for, I want to say 2, maybe 3 years. I can't remember exactly, but it's been a long time, and the price that I got this for was an absolute steal, and that game is going to be Omega Boost. So yeah, this is a game that I've wanted for ages. Last year, it was the game that I was looking for the most. It was the game that I wanted to come home with at the London gaming market, and I couldn't find it. And I actually saw 2 copies of this over the weekend. I saw this one, and I saw another one for a lot more. I think it was around 70 quid, the other one that I saw. I saw this one for £45, but I actually paid 40 for it. I did a little haggle, and I was successful. This is a game that's made by the Gran Turismo people, and it's a mecha game, and it looks so much fun. Ever since I played the Zone of the Enders games on PS2, I've been looking for really cool mecha games, and Omega Boost is the one that I really wanted to play. It just looks like it controls super nicely. It looks really fun. So yeah, this has been a game that I've been on the lookout for, and to get it for just 40 quid in, well, not mint condition, but it's in really nice condition, I was over the bloody moon. Alright guys, next up we got a PS2 game, and this is a game that I actually wanted for a video that I've got in mind. I want to do a video on all the different Evil Dead games, and there's not too many of them. There's around about sort of 5 or 6 on consoles, so over the weekend I've been looking for different Evil Dead games, and yeah, this is a pretty pricey one. I think it's the most expensive actually, and that is Evil Dead Regeneration. I think I paid 30 quid for this, which I'm pretty sure is a good deal, because I think this is about 40 quid at CEX. Condition wise is pretty decent. It's complete with the manual, so I was happy with that. And yeah, this is just a game that I've heard good things about, to be fair. I've heard the Evil Dead PS2 games are all pretty good. The only Evil Dead games that I've actually played are the original PS1 one, which wasn't great, I must admit, but I do have kind of nostalgia for that, and I recently played the Retro Realms one. So yeah, I don't know too much about this game, but I've heard good things. It looks pretty fun, so yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this one a whirl. And like I said, I want to do a video on the different Evil Dead games, so that will come probably next year, I think, at some point. Alright boys, we've only got 2 pickups remaining, and this was by far the most expensive pickup of the day. This one was not cheap, but it was a game that was very high on my list, and that game is going to be Danganronpa 3 for the PS Vita. See, I absolutely adore the Danganronpa games. I've played Danganronpa 1 and Danganronpa 2 on PS Vita, and they're incredible. They're 2 of my favourite visual novels of all time. They're just absolutely amazing. So yeah, obviously with me loving the first 2, I knew that I was going to be getting the third one at some point. Unfortunately though, it's really expensive. The first 2 are actually quite cheap on Vita. They're around sort of 20 quid, which isn't bad. This one though is like 70 quid. It's not cheap. You can get the Danganronpa games on Nintendo Switch and PS4, and they're a lot cheaper on there, but this series was meant for the Vita. That's what it was built for, and also I just love the Vita. Any excuse to buy Vita games, I'm there. And when it comes to this series, I've always played, you know, these games on the Vita. I couldn't have it any other way. So yes, I am paying a lot of money to have it on the Vita, but it just, I don't know, I wanted it on that console because I just love these games on there. It just feels right. I saw this one right at the end of the London gaming market. I'd already blown my budget at this point, so I had to buy it on card, and this guy had a giant box of PS Vita games, and trust me, it was one of the hardest things ever to not just literally buy the whole fucking box. He literally had tons of limited run games, there was rare stuff, it was crazy. I wanted to buy everything, and in the end I said, you know what, I've got to get Danganronpa 3 because I love the first 2, and it was the only game I bought from that box, and that was hard to do, trust me. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing that. I'm not going to be playing it just yet because the Danganronpa games are quite long, and I'm pretty busy at the minute. I might play it around Christmas time though, because I did play Danganronpa 2 last Christmas, and I feel like it's got a little bit of a festive vibe to it. It's not really festive, but I just feel that way. Anyway, I'm really glad I got that one. It was expensive, but I'm glad I found it. Alright then fellas, the final pickup of the day is one that I was really happy to find. I feel like I got a really good price for it, and I'm just glad that I've got it in my collection. It's a game that I don't really like though, but I'll explain why I had to pick it up. Anyway, that game is going to be Silent Hill 4 The Room. So I've said it before, I'm an absolutely huge Silent Hill fan. I absolutely love them. Unfortunately though, Silent Hill 4 is not one of my favourites. I actually don't really like it at all. I absolutely adore the first 3 Silent Hills. I think they're just perfect games. Silent Hill 2 Remake is good. I even like Shattered Memories. I think that one's pretty underrated. I like Silent Hill F. I know a lot of people hated that game, but I liked it. I enjoyed that. And yeah, Silent Hill 4 is a game that I think has a lot of cool stuff about it, but it's not a game that I really like because there's just a lot that I don't like about it, and I feel like the things I don't like about it outweigh the things I do like about it. But it is a game that I feel like I could quite easily change my mind on because I played it at a bit of a bad time. I played it at a time when I was trying to play through all of the different Silent Hill games, and yeah, I was trying to rush through them. So I was playing through Homecoming, Downpour, I was playing through this one, I was playing through Shattered Memories. I was playing them all at the same time, and I was kind of rushing it a little bit. And I remember being in the water world and just getting really frustrated with some of the puzzles, and that's when I ended up putting the game down because I just sort of had enough of how this game played. But I feel like I want to give this game a second chance because there is a lot of cool stuff about it. The atmosphere is really good. The room itself is really cool, like the first person stuff. I love all of that. There's some really cool scares in this game. There's a lot to love. It's just a few of the gameplay choices are not like my favorite. Like there's things about this game that are really bad. So yeah, it's not a perfect game, but it's a game that I do want to give a second try. I got this game for an absolute bargain of a price. I paid 45 quid for this one. However, that is for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't have the manual. It has this though. It has a FIFA 22 card, so I don't know why that's in there, but we'll take it. And also, it is a German version of the game, which doesn't really bother me because the game plays in English. I've tested it, by the way. It does play in English. I was speaking to the guy that I bought this from, and I think he was a fan of the channel because he said to me, like, jokingly, that you're probably going to get home and it's not going to play in English and you're going to be cussing me out. But yeah, I have tested it and it does play in English, which is good news because that obviously wouldn't have been ideal. I would have had to have learned German to play it, which I don't want. And yeah, I would have liked the manual, but I'm certainly not going to lose sleep over it, guys. This game is getting pretty damn expensive, so I'm just glad that it's in the collection. But that is it then, boys. That is all of the gaming pickups from the London gaming market. I didn't buy as much as I did last year, but I still feel like I came home with some really good stuff. It was more quality over quantity. I got some really, really cool games. I got these 3D printed things, which I really like. Obviously, I got the strategy guide, which I'm chuffed with. I got my Yukiko figure, wherever that's gone. I don't know what I've done with it now. Obviously, those posters for £1 each was an absolute bargain, so I feel like I got some cool stuff. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments if you went to the London gaming market. Did you get some pickups? Did you go to a different gaming market? And if so, did you pick anything up? Have you maybe just been to a local game shop? Have you been to CEX? Just let me know in the comments any sort of pickups you've got recently. But I think that's going to do it for now, boys. Look forward to another video coming soon, because I do have a cheeky CEX crawl to show you, which was awesome. We did that the day before the gaming market, and the pickups were just as good. So yeah, look forward to that then, boys, and I'll see you all for the next one, alright? Peace.